Hey guys, it's Bobby Legs, and welcome to another episode of Bobby Legs Loves Watches. And today I have for you the Vario Empire in Emerald Green. Now, Vario is a company based out of Singapore, and I became familiar with them initially because they sold straps. I am not aware or sure if they were always selling straps and they had a line of watches, or if one came before the other or not, but that's how I became familiar with them. Anyway, they have several models. They have this Empire. They have the 1918 Trench and Medic, which is a kind of an old vintage military feel. And they have the Eclipse, which is more of a Bauhaus feel. The Empire line is an Art Deco feel, and you have two choices in types of movement. They have a automatic movement, and they have a manual hand wound, and this is the hand wound version. But before I jump into the review, please remember to like and subscribe and click that bell icon to get notifications every time I upload new videos. I love making these videos, and I hope you like them too. So let's get on with it. I'm always intrigued by watches, dress watches in particular. If you look at my collection, if you've seen my videos over the years, my state of the collection over the last like year and a half, you'll notice that there's mostly divers and sports watches or G-Shocks. But I actually prefer or really like dress watches. I like the simple three-handers or ones with some crazy complications. Um, Various types of precious metals or stainless steel, whatnot. I just find them so interesting. However, the ones that I like are usually at a higher price point. And I can't really justify going to that level just yet in my life because I have a couple of kids. I work from home. I don't have an occasion to wear these dress watches, and I'm not the kind of guy. I mean, I know there's people out there who wear their dress watches um, in any occasion, in daily, walking the dog or doing anything. Um, Not me. That's not the kind of collector I would be. I would have it in a box and not wear for those kind of things like mowing the lawn per se. And so then having that kind of money sitting in a box and not being worn as often as I would like would get to me eventually. So affordable dress watches um, right now pique my interest because I can still get some of that feel and not spend all that kind of money and not feel guilty if I don't wear it on a daily basis. And that's where this watch came in. You know, I saw this in the pass around group, and I liked it what I saw. And so this is my turn with the watch now, and it's a very interesting watch. Obviously, a very Art Deco feel. So let's jump into the specs and then we'll talk more about it. So we have a 38 millimeter case diameter, a 46 millimeter lug to lug, thickness around 11 millimeters, 20 millimeter lug width. You have a stainless steel case. It's brushed or satinized on the sides here and polished just below the main part of the flank and right on top here as it bevels up into the sapphire crystal, which is flat. You do have an exhibition case back here, and this is powered by the Miyota 6T33 hand wound movement. I'm not familiar with this movement. I've never seen it in any other watches that I've handled, but you do get a good look at it from the case back here, and it looks pretty interesting. You know, it's not a boring movement to look at. I prefer hand wound movements because I just like looking at them. You don't have a big rotor in the back getting in the way. And I don't mind winding the watch if it runs out of juice. And speaking of juice, this has about a 40-hour power reserve. It beats at 28,800 beats per minute. Only 5 meters, 5 ATM or 50-meter water resistance. It's not a screw down crown. The crown, speaking of the crown, it's a little bit on the small side, but it does have some knurl in it to get a good grip. And obviously in the neutral position here, you wind the watch. In the first position, only position is you set the time. It does not hack, as you can see here. That's okay. So let's zoom into this dial because I think this is the star of the show. You have this center here and this outer rim that is like a sunburst emerald green. So you do have some interesting plays with the light. The indices are this gold tone, these hour indices here. They are, does not appear to be printed to me. It looks like it's raised, and I don't know if, if that's like the same, kind of like material that they use for the hands. Speaking of the hands, you do have these skeletonized gold tone hands, and that hour marker kind of reminds me when I first saw it of the JLC Master um, that sector dial watch that came out a few years ago with that was kind of like bluish grayish. So that's the Master Control. That's what it kind of reminded me of. Obviously, it's not the same thing, but it kind of gave me that feel. Um, so let's do a side-to-side comparison with one of my favorites here. And I've been watching a lot of knife videos, and I see some guys they do when they bring in a knife in for review, they compare it with a bunch of other knives just to give you perspective. And I know some watch reviewers do it, and I think it's a good idea, and I may incorporate it in my watch reviews in the future. But here is a watch, the Black Bay 58. Now, this is not an apple-on-apple comparison. I just want to give you some perspective. You have a 38 millimeter case diameter and a 46 millimeter lug to lug. Not too far off here, you have a 39 millimeter case diameter and a 47 millimeter lug to lug. The thickness is almost the same. You have the Vario is at 11, and the Tudor Black Bay 58 is at 11.7, and then you have 20 millimeter lug width here. So right, one is more of dressy, another is a diver. I get it, but I just wanted to give you guys a side-to-side comparison. It does look like the Tudor is, in my eye, a little bit bigger than what the stats show. But anyway, that's okay. This watch, the Vario, comes in this Italian leather strap that starts off at 20 millimeters and tapers down to 16, and you do get a nice comfortable fit. And let me put this watch on wrist, and I'll throw in an outdoor shot here as well. It's so light. I mean, these hand wound movements, they're thinner. They're lighter than the automatic counterparts, and the watch feels really nice on wrist. Now, a couple of things that you need to know. Of course, this watch does not have any lume at all. So if you were hoping to see some a lume shot, you're not going to get any. And I got to tell you, sometimes it is a little bit difficult to catch what time it is, or the reflection. It depends on the light, but on lower light, it's kind of hard to tell the time. So, if you're out in the middle of the woods at night, you're probably going to have a hard time reading the time on this watch. This watch is listed for $368 on Vario's website. There are other models that are sold out that are more legible, I would say, and it's probably more suitable for any kind of attire. This one you're kind of pinned to something green, or if you like to match your watches. If you don't like to match your watches, then you just wear whatever you want to wear. That's up to you. But you're not gonna wear this with certain certain colorways. I would say the automatic version of this watch is available. They have more options available. Interestingly enough, this is, like I said, this is listed for 368. The automatics are listed for 348, and it's powered by an NH38, so it's a little bit less than the hand wound, which is whatever. It is what it is. I'm sure there's a reason for it. Maybe this hand wound movement is a little rarer or harder to source than the NH38, which I'm pretty sure anybody can source that. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of them out there. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this watch. I think it's a fun little watch. It's not going to scratch my itch for an affordable dress watch, I would have to say. Then that's just my personal opinion. But if you have a larger collection and you want to add a splash of green to it and not break the bank, and have a nice hand-wound movement and a decent looking watch, you may want to consider this the Vario Empire here. Anyway, guys, I'll see you soon in the next video.